Grand Day Soul Siblings, it's Shay Seeking from American Aborigines Unchained here on YouTube and Facebook. And I'm going to go ahead and read something that is, I feel, pertaining to these times. It's really early. It's really early in the morning. And I just been sitting back for the last day, listening and seeking, going within, going out. And yeah, I don't know. I've just been listening, sitting. So I felt like I wanted to go into the Kolbrin last night, but I was so tired. My eyes kept closing. And I went ahead and just listened. And I fell asleep pretty quick, so I didn't really get it all. But the first little bite that I was listening to was like, what? So I'm going to go ahead and read it now. Okay? And it says the dark days. So since everybody wants to keep talking about the darkness and the dark winter and all this stuff, I just thought that was, yeah. So it says, the dark days began with the last visitation of the destroyer, and they were foretold by strange omens in the sky. All men were silent and went about with pale faces. So, yeah, the omens really are just making me think about, well, in the sky. I don't know. It makes me think about something that has something to do with, like, the internet or, something pertaining to, well, technology and the way we communicate and things today. I don't know. Airwaves would not. Okay. And it says, all men were silent and went about with pale faces. Again, I know we see a lot of those in front of us talking to us in these days. It says, the leaders of slaves, which had built a city to the glory of Thumb, stirred up unrest, and no man raised his arm against them. They foretold great events of which the people were ignorant, and if which the temple seers, okay? So again, I feel that we're not talking about a physical temple. I think we're talking about the one of the mind, okay? And the fact that they're using seers is saying like that they can see, okay? Okay, so you can, and it says, temple seers were not informed, okay? These were days of omnious calm, when the people waited for they knew not what. The presence of any unseen doom was felt. Excuse me. The heart of men were stricken. Laughter was heard no more, and grief and wailing sounded throughout the land. Even the voices of the children were stilled, and they did not play together, but stood silent. The slaves became bold and insolent, and women were the possession of any man. Fear walked the land, and woman became barren with terror. They could not conceive, and those with child aborted. They all closed up within themselves. The days of stillness were followed by a time when the noise of the trumpeting and shrilling was heard in the heavens. And the people became as frightened beasts without a herdsman, as asses when lions prowl without their fold. The people spoke of the God of the slaves, and reckless men said, if we knew where this God were to be found, we would sacrifice to him. Could it be in your temple? Could it be where they putting that Q-tip? But the God of the slaves was not among them, or in the brick pits. His manifestation was in the heavens for all men to see. But they did not see with understanding. Okay, I'm going to stop doing it. Nor would any God listen, for all were dumb because of the hypocrisy of men. The dead were no longer sacred and were thrown into the waters. Those already entombed were neglected, and many became exposed. They lay unprotected against the hands of thieves. He who once toiled long in the sun, bearing the yoke himself, now possesses oxen. He who grew no grain now owned a storehouse full. Excuse me. He who once dwelt at ease among his children now thirsted for water. He who once sat in the sun with crumbs and dredge was now bloated with food. He reclined in the shade, his bowels overflowing. Cattle were left unattended to roam into strange pastures. I feel that spiritually and with those who are putting in work to try and help others, advance, in whatever search they're in. I don't know, that's just what it reminds me of. Let's see. And another thing, the whole thing about the sitting in the shade and his bowels or his bowls overflowing, apologies, reminds me of going to the store this weekend and going shopping and saying, I've never seen so many overweight so-called European men, that I can feel a sense of something on them of defeat or fear or something, where it's not like as if it's something like as if this is something that has happened, that they just now started putting on this weight because of this whole thing. I don't know. Maybe I'm just looking too far in it, but that's just the aura that I was getting from most of these people in here that I was looking at. I don't know. It just was something strange. And also I can hear it in their voices. I can see it in their faces. There's a discontent or a strange, some type of feeling. It's a strange feeling. I don't know. That I was just talking to somebody about how they're looking at the world and looking at us and looking at the government and looking at other things that we may have already been privy to because we've been dealing with it for however long, And so anyhow, I just feel like I can see like people that look happy. I can see like things on people. And a lot of people come up to me and talk to me at the store. I don't know why, but they just come up and they start a conversation. When I go places, people just want to say something and something more. And so, I get a sense of picking up on people's energy or whatever. And I just saw a lot of despair, and like I said, it's in these times you know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying I felt something different. I feel a different something going on. Okay. Now let me get back on track. Okay. And so again, when it comes to the cattle being left unattended to roam strange pastures, that's making me think about